Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel here. I wanted to recommend you some series that are marathonable for summer because I feel like summer is the perfect time to just marathon a series that you love and fall in love with. Like, it's just kind of perfect. So on that note, we're gonna dive right in. I do want to make a quick note of word choice, why I'm using the word marathon and not the B word, binge. That is the only time I will say it. And it's because if you or anyone you know has ever struggled with an eating disorder, that word can be very upsetting and harmful, and it can make some people get into a mindset that they don't need to be in. So I just try to be cognizant of that, especially as someone who has struggled with an eating disorder before. And recovery is constant with that one, it's never over. So there's that too. Anyways, let's dive right into these series that I think are very marathonable for summer and any time of life. First up, we have Nikki Sloan's Filthy Rich American series, which is one of those ones that, like, you're either gonna love it or you'll hate it, and you'll know very quickly in book one if it's for you, I feel like. But this is what I equate to a soap opera popcorn read. It is wild. You are gonna not root for the actual love interest in this series. You're going to root for his father to get the girl, but that doesn't happen. He does have his own book. And they're just like so dramatic. So it's like about her family who's in trouble kind of, and she ends up having to marry into this other family. And then there's a whole initiation to the bank that they own that is bananas. You will literally be like, what the fuck? At the end of book one, at what the initiation is, I feel like. And yeah, it's just absolute banana pants, and I love it for like how bonkers and over the top it is. And I just, honestly, this sold me on Nikki Sloan. I think it's a great one to try if you're curious about Nikki Sloan's writing, because again, I just feel like it's a soap opera drama that you can't put down. One of my favorites. I loved this series and I blew through all 3 books so fast. It was kind of ridiculous. Next, we have a series that I'm currently marathoning through, which is the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. If you somehow haven't picked up Sophie Lark, I guess you live under a rock, because I feel like she's everywhere right now in the best way. I'm on book 4 in the Brutal Birthright series, and I'm really enjoying these. I was very happy to pick up the subsequent books as I finished them within a very quick fashion for me. I am not someone who picks up books in a series like one after the other. I'm not very good at that usually, unless I'm doing a reading vlog for it. It's just not something I do. So because of that, this series for me has become my current marathon series. Like I said, I'm on book 4. Book 1, we have a great enemies to lovers situation. Book 2 is Beauty and the Beast vibes and kidnapping, captor captive. Book 3 is another kind of bully romance situation, sort of, but they're adults, so it worked pretty well. These are also pretty popcorny on the plot in the best way, and also just really quick reads. Even though they're pretty long, they're super digestible reads and fun to get through. And you're always curious to see how the next couple is gonna work out. Then we have one of my all-time favorite authors, no surprise here, Christina C. Jones. I have 2 series by her I'm gonna recommend. They're all 3 novella, like they're 3-book series, all novellas. You could literally read them all in a day, and if you haven't tried Christina C. Jones, these are one of my starting points that I recommend, and that is the Wright Brothers or the Love Sisters trilogy. So we have Getting Schooled, which is the first in the Wright Brothers trilogy, and this follows a student teacher assistant in college and a veteran, and I really loved the dynamic in this one. It was really fun. They're very flirty, and it worked really well. There wasn't too much of a power imbalance with that situation. And then book 1 in the Love Sisters is I Think I Might Love You? Need You? Hold on. I Think I Might Love You is book 1. This has probably one of the most ridiculous meet cutes I've ever read, where she ends up in her sister's apartment and someone has been running it out and she didn't know, like an Airbnb situation, and walks in on him like half naked and like almost goes to jail because she doesn't realize he's renting the apartment, thinks somebody broke into it. It's so funny. All of these books are like super quick reads. They're all available as audios on Hoopla as well, and like I said, I feel like you could finish the whole series in a day or 2 and just laugh your way through them and have the most fun time ever. So highly recommend picking either of those up. Next, we have a book series that isn't complete yet, but there are currently 2 books out, and I do feel like if you picked them up back to back, you would be done with them very quickly as well, and ready for book 3 to come out this fall / late summer. Late summer, I guess, really. So that is The Never King by Nikki St. Crow. I've not shut up about this book, neither has anyone I'm friends with, I feel like. We all love this series. The Never King is the first book in the Vicious Lost Boys. We follow Peter Pan, who kidnaps one of the Darling daughters on their 18th birthday every time they turn 18, and we follow Winnie, who is kidnapped and is the first Darling to not react the same way as the other Darlings. And I really, really love this book. I feel like I devoured book 1 in no time, and I also devoured book 2 in no time, and now I'm stuck waiting for my arc, hopefully, of book 3 sooner than later this fall. If you told me I was gonna love a Peter Pan retelling, I probably wouldn't have believed you, because honestly, Peter Pan's just not one of my favorite fairy tales. I don't know why, it just never has done it for me, but this worked really, really well. This is a polyamorous romance. We have Peter Pan, we have Vane, who is the Dark Shadow, and we have Bash and Kaz, who are twins from the fairy world, and we have like really great integration of the Peter Pan lore we know, but it's kind of twisted around a little and changed up in the best way, and I really appreciate how the author's handled that and what she's done with it. And I'm curious to see where we go with book 3. I wouldn't say the plot in this is necessarily surprising, but it is really, really enjoyable and fun. It is one of those books that you just kind of go on a ride in the best way, and it has some really, really great sex scenes in it, so there's also that. Next, we have the oMalleys by Katie Robert. This is her mafia romance series. I loved this series. Once I started on the oMalleys, I feel like I breezed through them pretty quickly. Again, I'm not somebody that picks up a book like one after the other in a series generally. It's just not my style. It's not how my brain works. But I blew through the oMalleys pretty quickly, I think early last year, or early this year. I don't know, it was recent. It's been in the last year that I read them all. I still have to read The Bastard's Betrayal, but I absolutely adored everything I read from the oMalleys. I really liked following the family. I always like a book like that where we follow the family and we meet characters in previous books and keep going. It works really well for me. It does keep me engaged in the series. And I think this is one of those ones where you can't go wrong. You kind of got it all with the tropes. There's even a secret pregnancy trope. Like, Katie's got it covered, and I didn't hate it. Like, I don't like secret pregnancy, and I liked that book. So I feel like the oMalleys is one of those ones that, like, you'll start in book 1 and you meet the whole family and you're just like invested and you want to know where they're going and how it's going to end. And Katie, these are older Katie books, but they're still very Katie Robert. So if you like Katie Robert's writing and you haven't read this series, I think the oMalleys is a great place to pick up if you're looking for a marathonable series this summer. And last but not least, we have a series that I'm marathoning this summer, and that is the Hidden Legacy series by Ilona Andrews. I have a read along going with my friends Steph over at Novelty Corner, Heather at Hia Booktubes, and Megan at Meowth Vader. We're all reading the Hidden Legacy books, and we're doing a live show once a month until the last book comes out in August. And we just finished the first 2 of our reread, which is Burn For Me and White Hot. So you have plenty of time to join if you haven't read the series yet. And the final book comes out in August for the next trilogy. So the first 3 books follow the same couple. They follow Nevada and Rogan. He is known as this like kind of, he's called Mad Rogan. Like, he's just kind of really strong, powerful wizard. This follows a wizarding world set in Houston, post-apocalyptic-ish. It is urban fantasy, and we get a lot of like interesting powers and abilities and world building. It is a slow burn. I do need to note that. It takes 3 full books for them to like fully hook up. But it is like a delightful world building experience, and like the push and pull of the 2 of them is perfection. So I do think it's a great series to read, and if you're just ready for like a world that you're just like, holy crap, this is cool, because that's what this does. I absolutely adore the Hidden Legacy series. I am so excited to keep reading it and to read through the whole series and get to Ruby Fever, which is the newest book. Second set of books is Sapphire Flames, Emerald Blaze, and Ruby Fever. These follow Nevada's sister Catalina and Alessandro, who is another magic user. And they also have a very reluctant love story, but the first 3 books are heavy morality chain in my opinion. Rogan only kind of is good for Nevada to prove to her that he is worthy of her, and morality chain is my book nip. I love morality chain, and there are not enough morality chain books out there in my opinion, so whenever I find what I love, I am in, and that is what Hidden Legacy is for me. So on that note, those are my recs for marathonable series. Let me know what marathonable series you love and recommend, because I'd love to pick some up this summer. And if you don't want to do that, you can leave me a sunshine emoji because holy crap, it is hot here today. And summer is here, and I'm just like, whew, it's not even June and we're in it. We're in the warm temps. So you can do that. There will be links to all these books down in the description box, as well as links to Be My Friend anywhere on the internet, and I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get